Hi, I'm Candy Davis out here in the forest. And a long time ago, my friend Eric Shedler and I wrote a song called The Awakening Forest Song. I'm going to perform that for you today. And if you want to sing along on the choruses, that would be great. Green arching pines, embrace me with shade. Oak spirits, sing me a sweet lullaby. Unfettered, my soul lifts high above the ground. Soaring with tree folk, life truly goes round. When a young child, my folks tried to share a love of the forest, I did not care. Then once I slept out alone in the wood. My heart was awakened, 'twas then I was born. Green arching pines, embrace me with shade. Oak spirits, sing me a sweet lullaby. Unfettered, my soul lifts high above the ground. Soaring with tree folk, life truly goes round. Rainbow-streaked clouds paint the sky in the west. Night's curtain descends, I'm not ready to rest. Stars smile down like bright fireflies. Stretching my arms out, I'm suddenly wise. Sing along. Green arching pines, embrace me with shade. Oak spirits, sing me a sweet lullaby. Unfettered, my soul lifts high above the ground. Soaring with tree folk, life truly goes round. Owls hoot in moonlight, soft silvery sounds. Cicada song sibilant, tuning earth's choir. Peeper frogs thrumming spring nocturnes of joy. Whippoorwill woodwinds call, haunting the night. Green arching pines, embrace me with shade. Oak spirits, sing me a sweet lullaby. Unfettered, my soul lifts high above the ground. Soaring with tree folk, life truly goes round. As Sol climbs the sky, it dawns upon me. The day's not so new, beginnings of old. Packing my bags, embracing the forest. Carry my friends home till next I return. Green arching pines, embrace me with shade. Oak spirits, sing me a sweet lullaby. Unfettered, my soul lifts high above the ground. Soaring with tree folk, life truly goes round.
So now, to take a bit of a forest bath meditation, I'm going to walk down the hill here a little bit and find my nice little stream, immerse myself in the sight, sound, and smell and feel of the forest, and we'll begin our little service as we get down there. Hello, welcome to Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship's Spiritual Sustenance, our online alternative to Sunday services. Good morning, everyone. I'm Charles Ruffner, a CUF member involved in the Board of Trustees and the Green Sanctuary team, and I'm your Spiritual Sustenance Facilitator this morning. Welcome to the Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship, a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, sharing the good news of Unitarian Universalism with folks throughout the river region. Our good news is a message of love, freedom, reason, and respect as the basis for religious community. We are a congregation of folks with open minds and hearts, those of all ages, all colors, all genders, all abilities, all kinds of wealth, all kinds of love. If you're a newcomer this morning to our Spiritual Sustenance video service, I'd like to extend a special welcome to you. We're so glad you're here. Our theme for this month of July is nature. And in the vein of Henry David Thoreau and Emily Dickinson, who both believed that their church was not actually being present in a building, but rather took place in the out of doors among God's creation and splendor seen in the wildness of our world. So I hope this morning to immerse you and myself in nature while we explore my own transcendentalist inclinations and inspiration for today's Sunday sustenance. Nature is my religion. So we're going to get started by lighting our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Brought a smudge stick as well, I think. Smudge the air. Some beautiful incense. For our chalice reading this morning will be Summer Warmth by Helen Cohen. We stand at the edge of summer. The sun has at last warmed us enough that we begin to trust in its presence. The last burst of spring blossoms, lavender and white, and deep pink banks of rhododendron are giving way to summer peonies and roses. O source of the turning seasons, of earth, of life, of promise gradually becoming fulfillment, may your people find the lightening of their load with the brightening of the sky. So I've lit the chalice, and now with intention, I'm going to place a pebble in this beautiful little creek beside me. All of you at home are invited to place a glass pebble in your bowl to reflect a sorrow, joy, or whatever you might be feeling anytime in the service. So now would be a time for all ages. Today, for Time for All Ages, I'll be reading one of my all-time favorite books, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. This book was given to me when I was like 5 years old. It still has all of my writing in it and everything. It's my name, Charlie, 1972. The Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat her apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy so loved that tree. very much. Put his initials, me and T. And the tree was so happy. But alas, time went by. And the boy grew older. He has a friend with him. There's 2 sets of feet there. And the tree was so often alone. The tree's sad, crossing her boughs. Then one day, the boy came to the tree. The tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat my apples and play in the shade and be happy." "Oh, I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples." "Sure, take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you'll have money and you will be happy." So the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them all away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away even longer this time, and the tree was so sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk, swing from my branches, and be happy." "Oh, I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm. I want a wife and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off all her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a very long time. When he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "Oh, I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. Poor sad little stump. After a long time, the boy came back again. "I'm so sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are all gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone. You cannot climb." "Oh, I'm too tired to climb a tree," said the boy. "I'm sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I'm so sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm so tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Now let's sit back and relax while we listen to Candy Davis singing her song, Shawnee Seasons.
Shawnee Seasons. Out here in the Shawnee. On the ridges in the valleys of the wild Shawnee spring the blooms of the red buds and dogwood trees, where the oaks grow tall and the hawks soar free, sing a waking song of spring in the wild Shawnee. On the ridges in the valleys of the wild Shawnee, in the sultry green shelters of the canopy, with the hum of the skeeters and the buzz of the bees, sing a sticky song of summer in the wild Shawnee. On the ridges in the valleys of the wild Shawnee, autumn's fires paint the colors of the leaves of the trees, and the nuts gathered in and persimmons turn sweet sing a blazing song of autumn in the wild Shawnee. On the ridges in the valleys of the wild Shawnee, where the glassy branches shimmer on the slumbering trees, and the nuts and the brown grass bends in the wind's sharp breeze, sing a sleeping song of winter in the wild Shawnee. On the ridges in the valleys of the wild Shawnee, where the plants spread their seeds and the critters roam free, as the sunlight's recycled from the soil to the leaves, sing a soaring song of sharing in the mystery, sing a mystic song of being in the wild Shawnee.
Well, now is a time in our service where we normally share our sorrows and joys with each other. But today, I'll be doing a little forest bath meditation for us, during which we will be enjoying the sights and sounds of this beautiful creek and forest nearby. If during the meditation your mind wanders, allow it to. Allow it to provide the opportunity to reflect on your sorrow or joys of the week, or simply work at acknowledging your breathing and the heartbeats with the relaxing sounds of our location. So the whole idea of forest bathing is to immerse yourself in the sights and sounds and smells of the forest. And the whole idea from our Japanese friends who invented Shinrin-yoku, forest showering, is to go outside and try to feel the earth beneath you, the rocks you sit on, feel the water coursing through the streams. And I want you to concentrate on your breathing, just deep breaths. Remembering that what you inhale is the exhalation of the trees, and what you exhale is their inhalation. Always connecting you to the interdependent web of our life. Love to hear the bird song and the trickle of water through the creek bed. See the light playing in the trees, reflecting off the water. Just about every time I take a walk in the forest, I try and do a 2 to 3 minute sit and just take it all in. thanks for enjoying that moment with me, but I think we'll move on and talk about how nature is my religion and this is my place of worship. Good morning again. I've been magically teleported to my back garden here in lovely Murfreesboro from our Creekside location, and now I'll be offering you my message of nature is my religion and this is my place of worship. This saying was brought to my attention years ago by my older sister when she saw this sign in a shop and bought it for me as a present. She swore that sign has Charlie's name all over it. When I opened the package, I was delighted to see this lakeside scene surrounded by spruce trees and mountaintops. Truly an idealized version of nature. It normally sits on my home desk amid my antlers, feathers, and arrowhead collections, reminding me that no matter where I roam, I will always try to see the beauty of a place and understand its place in the natural world. In this short message today, I hope to reflect on my love of being in the forest and how I show that love for the land through living my land ethic within the forest. Looking back over my life, I realize the influence nature has had on me since boyhood, exploring the backwoods and hills of our holler in Pennsylvania. We had a creek running through our front yard, a big long garden spread along the streamside terrace, which blended into the slopes and rocky ridges of our wooded acreage in central PA. On summer days, we would walk the rails into town, buy some snacks and a couple pops, then do a creek walk all the way upstream back to our house. We had forts in every corner of the woodlot and patrolled the perimeter with our cap guns and homemade spears. My first job in high school was at our local state park, which allowed me to work on trails, stream netting for aquatic samples, and helping visitors enjoy the wonders of the outdoors. Throughout all those opportunities, I often found myself surrounded by the sights, smells, and sounds of the forest, which were so much more calming and nurturing to me than the hallways of St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Several times over the years, my brothers and I would offer to ride our bikes to the early Mass, only to stop midway there to enter the woods and hike about, catching snakes and such. That worked for a while until the priest and her mother had a chat one morning about why none of the boys were showing up for their acolyte Mass services. Well, by the time I entered the Army, I had been exposed to some writings of folks like Emily Dickinson, Henry David Thoreau, and John Muir, who once wrote, "The quickest way into the universe was through a walk in the forest." I couldn't agree more. Each of these folks recognized the divine in nature and wrote of their love to personally experience the raw beauty and wonder of natural things. Dickinson's poems often captured the essence of a natural scene. Here she writes, "A bird came down the walk he did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in halves and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass and then hopped sidewise to the wall to let a beetle pass." I so wish I could capture my visions from the wild woods like she and so many authors do. One example of my favorite visions is exploring the vertical architecture of a forest. Oftentimes I find myself sitting in the forest on a rock or a log, enjoying a brief drink break, and my eyes almost immediately begin to take in the structure of the forest. If you look closely, you will see that on nearly every level or strata of the forest, there lies another ecological niche that affords food and or cover to some form of wildlife or flora. I see the fungus rotting the log beneath me. There are chanterelles in the leaf litter, suggesting a recent burn perhaps. I look up and see the gray-green lichens on the limbs and bark of the tree, hiding caterpillars and such insects that feed the gleaners like chickadees and nuthatches, or noting the overlapping layers of hickory bark that offer roosting sites for our local bat species that reduce those pesky mosquitoes through the summer. Way up in the upper foliage, I see signs of maybe of squirrel nests from last winter, or the grayish nest of paper wasps growing underneath a branch stub. Even for such a short visit, so many factors of the wildwood fill my senses and help to connect me to the pulse of the earth. It is building this connection to the natural world that drives me as a forestry educator and trainer. In my work with landowners and students, I always work towards managing our natural resources effectively and enhancing the site productivity of the land. Upon proper investigation and assessment, some lands need proper herbicides perhaps to curb infestations of recent invasive species. Or perhaps an overstocked forest stand needs some stems removed to increase vigor and improve habitat. Still others need a periodic application of fire to maintain the rich herbaceous layer and promote lush browse for deer and turkey. Others might be left alone in their older ages to be vestiges and habitations for our pagan and druidic ancestors. In offering these services to Mother Nature, I attempt to heal the land through stewardship actions that allow me to practice my land ethic, first suggested by Thoreau but fleshed out by his later disciple Aldo Leopold. This stewardship ethic keeps me aware of my connection to the land and allows me to pass on this gift of treating the land for the benefit of all. I try to positively influence each landowner I interact with, whether here in the U.S. or internationally, so that he or she carries forth their own stewardship ethic. Over the years of working across continents and cultures, I've come to realize that we all live and die through attachment to the lands of our tribe, our own, that of our ancestors, and even across our wide world. After all, we all follow the long thread of humanity that leaves us transparent evidence of birth, growth, and death on the landscape to be encountered by those in the future. Each culture shapes its landscape in so many interesting ways, both good and bad. And each generation has someone trained to read the past history so that others may understand the impact of their forebears on the land. I know that's easy to say, but I think my vocational training has proffered me the unique ability to study and observe the interrelations of many of the life sciences, cultural human ecology, and the myriad of spiritual forms reflected in the natural systems in which they evolved. So, in closing, I ask each of you to actively explore your place in the natural world. Go soon and take a forest bath. Hike or sit in some forest area and try and focus on your breathing and begin scanning the forest around you. Feel yourself becoming grounded and cognizant of the sights and sounds filling the space around you. I try and take a forest shower at least twice a week, and it certainly helps me feel grounded, calmer, and relaxed in this crazy world in which we find ourselves. I think this is an outstanding way for each of us to practice our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, and really the only way to personally experience the divine in all of nature's creations. Thank you. Good morning. A reading by Nancy Wood called My Help is in the Mountains. My help is in the mountain where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it, and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees, which one by one give me company. So I must stay for a long time until I have grown from the rock, and the stream is running through me. And I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me, nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. Now, some brief announcements. Even though we're not meeting at the building for Sunday services, there is a lot going on with our congregation and community. Please be sure to read the announcements in the email that was sent yesterday along with this order of service. I want to remind you that we now have just 3 Zoom links, one for RE gatherings, one for internal CUF gatherings like committee meetings, and one for public gatherings such as Sunday services, Vespers, and our lovely cocktail hour. Please consult your email or contact one of your Zoom hosts. We hope to see you on the next coffee hour, Vespers, or cocktail hour. Now, let us thank our friend Miss Candy Davis for her inspiring words, which capture for me the essence of Mother Earth in song. In addition, I want to thank Jacob Ruffner, our videographer and hiking buddy, for joining me yet again on another sojourn in the woods. And thanks to all who were part of making this service a success, such as Amy Weber, Miss Rhonda Kosmicki, and her very able Sunday Services Committee. Now, join hands if you have someone with you, or turn your palms up to receive our benediction. This is called the Great Spirit Prayer by Chief Yellow Lark, dated 1887. O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, and whose breath gives life to all the world, I come before you now, one of your many children. Hear me, for I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength not to be greater than my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Now I ask, go in peace with love for all of nature's creation in your hearts and minds. Be good to yourself and others, and when you can, go for a nice forest bath. We all need it.